Something intriguing is occurring right now. Women who have spent their whole lives receiving attention effortlessly are now meeting men who simply don't care. Men who ignore hints, who don't chase, who don't prioritize female approval. The resulting panic is palpable. Women post frantically about emotionally unavailable men, yet they are really describing men who have quit the validation game. Here's why this shift fuels massive anxiety and what it truly means when men stop taking women seriously. A simple test illustrates the panic. Watch an attractive woman encounter a man who doesn't notice her. Not rudely, but genuinely fails to register her as special. She escalates, moves closer, laughs louder, invents reasons to engage. When nothing works, confusion turns to frustration, then anger. What's wrong with him? Nothing. He just doesn't care. That shatters their worldview. The loss of influence triggers instant anxiety because many women have never known true indifference. From childhood, they received attention for simply existing. Smiles earned treats, tears earned comfort, beauty earned privileges. Then they meet men who ignore all of that. Their usual tools become useless and they have no backups. I saw this at a business conference. An attractive woman, accustomed to being the focus, tried to engage a successful entrepreneur. He answered politely and returned to his work. She attempted 3 more times, touching his arm, asking personal questions, even mentioning she was single. He stayed courteous but uninterested. Later she asked everyone what was wrong with him, unable to accept that his lack of interest was simply that he wasn't interested. This challenge to entitlement is sparking widespread panic. Many women truly believe male attention is a given, a right, not a gift. When men stop automatically prioritizing them, their entire framework collapses, akin to someone with a trust fund suddenly having to interview for jobs. The entitlement was so deep they didn't even recognize it. Frustration with unresponsive partners is reaching a tipping point. Women label men broken for not performing traditional romantic roles while simultaneously claiming they don't need those roles. They want men who chase but won't admit they want to be chased. They want providers but refuse to admit they want provision. When men say, "Okay, I won't chase or provide," panic erupts. A client told me his girlfriend broke down because he stopped planning elaborate dates. Not because he was cruel, but because he matched her energy. She reduced effort, he reduced effort. She had been coasting on his investment, contributing nothing. When he stopped overcompensating, she called him emotionally distant. He was simply reciprocal. The fear of diminished social and romantic power is real. Women realize that male attention, their lifelong social currency, is becoming scarce not due to fewer men, but because men are becoming more selective. The power dynamic is shifting and those who relied on automatic male interest are panicking. The disruption of validation mechanisms is especially striking. Social media used to be an endless fountain of affirmation. Post a selfie, get hundreds of likes. Now men are logging off, scrolling past without engaging. The validation engine is breaking, and women addicted to it are experiencing withdrawal. I know a woman who posted increasingly revealing photos to get her ex's attention. He never liked or viewed them. She went from subtle thirst traps to near-nude shots, then finally messaged him directly. He replied, "I don't follow you anymore." Her panic was vivid. Her primary tool for regaining his attention was useless. Perceived loss of leverage in relationships is causing strategic panic. Women who have always controlled relationships through sex, emotion, or manipulation now face men who won't be controlled. These men have options, standards, and, above all, self-respect. Traditional playbooks, withholding sex, creating drama, threatening to leave, fail. When men are willing to walk away, the exposure of personal insecurities when manipulation fails is brutal. When crying, threatening, and sex no longer work, the only thing left is the actual person. Many women discover they never cultivated a personality beyond manipulative tactics. They bring little beyond appearance and emotional games. A therapist colleague, with permission, shared a case of a female patient panicking because her boyfriend didn't react jealously when she flirted with other men. She escalated, danced with guys at bars, collected numbers, talked about other men. He simply said, "Cool, have fun." She didn't know how to function without jealousy games. Adaptation struggles to new social dynamics appear everywhere. Women raised with guaranteed male attention now must learn how to genuinely attract men through personality, value, and authentic connection, not merely exist near them. It's like a lifelong driver suddenly forced to learn to drive at 30. Basic skills everyone else mastered are now foreign. The clash with cultural conditioning creates cognitive dissonance. Women were told they're the prize, that men should be grateful for any attention. Yet increasingly men act like the prize, and honestly many are. A stable, successful man with options won't chase someone whose sole contribution is her presence. The need to reassess strategy induces analysis paralysis. Women try to keep strong, independent personas while panicking that men aren't pursuing them. They want to be chased but fear appearing chaseable. They crave traditional courtship yet claim to despise traditional roles. The contradictions cause systemic failure. I've observed 3 panic responses. Type 1 doubles down on manipulation, becomes more dramatic, creates chaos. Type 2 retreats into men are trash ideology to avoid confronting personal inadequacy. Type 3 actually works on personal growth. Guess which is most common and which is most effective. Social media meltdowns reveal the sentiment. Where have all the real men gone? Meaning, where are the men who will chase me even if I offer nothing? Men are so emotionally unavailable, meaning men won't respond to my emotional manipulation. Modern dating is impossible, meaning I can't coast on my looks anymore. The biological clock panic amplifies everything. Women in their 30s who spent their 20s rejecting good men for bad boys now see those good men with options. Stable, relationship-oriented guys they ignored are dating younger women or have given up on relationships entirely. The panic isn't about loneliness. It's about consequences. A woman I know spent her 20s dating musicians and bartenders, dismissing stable guys as boring. At 34, she's frantic to secure a provider, but the providers her age are either taken or dating 26-year-olds. Her panic posts about men who can't handle successful women really address successful men who won't tolerate her baggage. The entitlement recalibration is brutal to watch. Women who never had to develop personality or value beyond sexuality discover that sexuality depreciates while men's value often appreciates. More resources, experience, confidence. The same men they spurned at 25 are now out of their league at 35. Strategic panic shows up as desperate behaviors. Suddenly wanting to settle after years of self-discovery, suddenly valuing nice guys after years chasing bad boys, suddenly seeking traditional relationships after years of feminist independence. Men notice the pattern. They're no longer first choice but last resort. The addiction to validation withdrawal is real. Women whose self-worth hinged on male attention face identity crises when that attention evaporates. Without likes, matches, and DMs, who are they? Without men pursuing them, what is their value? These questions should have been answered in their 20s. Now they surface in their 30s or 40s. The bargaining phase is sad. I'll cook and clean, but you called that oppression. I'll be supportive, but you say emotional labor should be paid. I'll be feminine, but you claim gender roles are outdated. Men are confused. Which version is real? The answer is often neither. It's performance-driven by desperation. Competition panic spikes when they realize other women aren't playing by feminist rules. Some are pleasant, supportive, feminine, offering to split or pay for dates, while angry women demand men foot the bill. Collaborative feminism collapses when resources become scarce. A friend showed me his dating app matches. One profile listed demands and "don't waste my time." Another listed interests and what she offers. Guess which he matched with. Entitled "Women Panic When They See Positive Women Succeeding." The realization that male indifference is rising, not falling, creates existential panic. Men aren't getting more desperate as women predicted. They're getting more selective. Video games, hobbies, friend groups now outweigh dramatic relationships. The narrative that men need us more than we need them is crumbling. The wall of male indifference is solid because it's genuine disinterest, not active rejection. You can't manipulate someone who doesn't care. You can't negotiate with absence. You can't drama your way into attention from someone who isn't paying attention. This passive resistance is more effective than any protest. The generational divide is stark. Older women who secured providers early are fine. Younger, attractive women still have options. But the middle group, late 20s to late 30s, who bought into have-it-all feminism are panicking as they realize the lie and face potential emptiness. When men state their standards, panic erupts. I want someone who hasn't slept around. Misogyny. I want someone feminine and supportive. Sexism. I want someone younger who wants kids. Predator. These are preferences, not attacks. Men have the right to preferences just as women do. Dating app data fuels panic. Women see men their age matching younger women. Their own matches dropping after 30 while men's increase. Their demands mocked while men's preferences are fulfilled. The data doesn't lie. It shows uncomfortable truths. Provider panic spikes as women who rejected traditional roles now demand provision. Yet traditional men want traditional women. You can't ask for a 1950s husband while being a 2024 feminist. Men who can provide have options and choose appreciative partners, not demanding ones. A successful client of mine dates exclusively abroad now, tired of entitled Western women who demand without adding value. He found a feminine, appreciative partner who enhances his life. When local women hear about his gorgeous, sweet girlfriend, panic and anger flare. He simply chose better. The collapse of sisterhood is amusing. Feminism preached support, but when male attention dwindles, it becomes every woman for herself. Women who preached sisterhood will steal each other's men without hesitation. The panic when they realize other women are competition, not allies, hits hard. The where are all the good men? Panic ignores that good men are everywhere. They're just invisible to women chasing bad boys or waiting for perfection. Good men have stopped chasing women who don't value them. They're building lives, careers, happiness without female validation. The nice guy panic is real. Women see that the nice guys they rejected didn't vanish. They evolved into high-value men with standards. The boring accountant is now a CFO dating models. The nerdy programmer sold his startup. The simple teacher became a principal with a happy family. None are available. Choice panic has consequences. Every decision yields outcomes. Career over family, bad boys over good men, feminism over femininity. The panic isn't about the choices themselves, but about wanting different outcomes than those choices produced. The recognition of truly masculine men unwilling to be manipulated sparks strategic panic. These men have boundaries, standards, self-respect. Typical female tactics fail, leaving many women clueless about interacting with uncontrollable men. A woman tried to baby trap a client, stopped birth control without telling him. When she got pregnant, she expected a proposal. He demanded a paternity test, consulted lawyers, said he'd pay child support but wouldn't be coerced into marriage. Her panic when her ultimate tool failed was a wake-up call. Selection pressure reversal is causing widespread panic. Historically, women selected and men competed. Now successful men select and women compete. The power dynamic has flipped, and women who never learned to compete for male attention lose to those who did. Social proof collapse occurs when women realize other women's opinions don't matter to certain men. These men ignore Instagram followers, friend approval, status. They care about real value. Can she cook? Is she pleasant? Does she add to his life? When social proof becomes worthless, existential panic ensues. Fertility window panic intensifies everything. Men can father children at 50. Women face serious challenges after 35. This biological inequality creates time pressure men don't feel. A 33-year-old woman's panic differs from a 33-year-old man's calm, affecting negotiating power. Backup plan collapse fuels strategic panic. Many women kept nice guys as backups while pursuing exciting ones. The backups improved themselves, found others, or stopped waiting. Reaching for a safety net that's gone epitomizes poor planning meeting reality. The impossibility of having it all creates existential panic. Career, family, travel, experiences, perfect partner. Someone lied about what's possible. Life requires trade-offs. Men learn this early, women learn it late. The panic isn't about lacking options. It's about having to choose among them. Investment differential panic strikes when women see they spent their youth, their most valuable relationship asset, on men who wouldn't commit, while men spent theirs building appreciating value. At 35, his stock is rising, hers is falling. The panic isn't jealousy. It's recognition of poor resource allocation. Character reveal: panic occurs when manipulation fails. Women must rely on actual personality and character, which many never developed. The panic isn't about men not responding. It's about having nothing else to offer. Men's indifference training is systematic. Every manipulation, game, false accusation teaches them to care less. The very behaviors women use to control men teach men to be indifferent. When women realize they created the indifference they fear, poetic justice emerges. Economic reality fuels practical panic. Many women expected to marry someone who would fund their lifestyle, but marriageable providers are scarce and have options. A 35-year-old woman facing lifelong self-support isn't about feminism failing. It's about reality winning. Approaching irrelevance, panic hits differently. Men gain distinction. Women become invisible. Men become silver foxes. Women become cat ladies. It's unfair, but it's real. The expiration date panic mounts as men's prime years lie ahead while women's approach. The solution isn't complex. It requires accountability. Develop real value beyond sexuality. Bring peace instead of drama. Support instead of demanding. Appreciate instead of criticizing. Be pleasant instead of difficult. That requires admitting the current strategy fails, an admission too painful for most. Men who don't take women seriously aren't broken. They're rational. They've calculated the cost-benefit of female attention and found it lacking, evaluated the ROI of relationships and chose other investments. The panic isn't that these men are wrong. It's that they're right. A generation of entitled women meets an indifferent generation of men. An unstoppable force meeting an immovable object. The panic is simply entitlement colliding with reality, expectations meeting indifference, manipulation meeting immunity. The truth: men aren't obligated to take anyone seriously. Attention is earned, not owed. Interest is inspired, not demanded. Investment is attracted, not extracted. Women who bring value don't panic over male indifference because they never experience it. The panic signals admitted inadequacy. The future belongs to women who grasp the shift, adapt, develop themselves as people, not just sexual beings, offer value beyond anatomy, bring peace instead of problems. Those women aren't panicking because they're busy being chosen by quality men. The panic will intensify before it eases. More women will hit the wall of male indifference, discover their tools fail, realize they're competing for fewer interested men. This isn't cruelty, it's correction. The market is adjusting after decades of artificial inflation. The psychological restructuring happening now is fascinating. Women who built identity on being desired must rebuild from scratch. Ego death is painful but necessary. Some will emerge stronger, cultivating real personality and value. Others will double down on delusion until reality becomes undeniable. The cultural whiplash is striking. These women grew up told they're perfect as they are, deserve the best, should never settle. Now reality tells them they're not perfect, don't automatically deserve anything, may have to settle or stay alone. Cognitive dissonance fuels mental health crises across demographics. The revelation that men have been performing care rather than feeling it is shocking. Many men pursued women out of perceived obligation, not genuine interest. Now they realize they don't have to play the game, and women discover much of their past attention was performative compliance, not true desire. Efforts to shame men back into compliance grow desperate. Real men chase, provide, don't care about body count is no longer a definition but a manipulation attempt. Men have built immunity through overexposure. A parallel economy of male attention is emerging. Men invest in gaming, hobbies, brotherhood, self-improvement, finding fulfillment outside female validation. This siphons resources from the traditional attention economy, leaving dependent women panicking. An intergenerational warning system among men is unprecedented. Older men warn younger ones about traps. Divorced men share horror stories. Social media lets men compare notes globally. The information asymmetry that once enabled female manipulation is vanishing, reducing the efficacy of traditional female strategies. Men who don't take women seriously aren't villains. They're rational actors exiting an irrational game that offers them little and costs them much. Women's realization that the game works only when men play, and men are walking away, is just beginning. The adjustment period will be brutal. Women who never had to develop personality will need to become interesting. Those who never compromised will need to negotiate. Those who never pursued will need to chase. The panic isn't about change. It's about being unprepared for it. Resolution demands honesty most won't achieve. Admit female sexual value depreciates. Male resources appreciate. Feminist relationship narratives were wrong. Men have value beyond utility. This honesty threatens the ego investment many women have made. The panic over men not taking them seriously is really panic about consequences, choices, attitudes, behaviors. For the first time, many women face real consequences for their relationship strategies, and they're unprepared. Men aren't trying to cause panic. They're simply living their lives, pursuing purposes, enjoying hobbies, building value. The panic is a byproduct of men discovering they don't need female validation to be happy, reshaping gender dynamics. The message to women is simple. If you panic about men not taking you seriously, ask what you're offering that deserves serious attention. If the answer is merely your presence, the panic is justified. Men have learned that female presence without value is a liability, not an asset. The message to men is even simpler. Keep building, keep growing, keep standards. Your indifference isn't cruelty. It's self-preservation. Your standards aren't misogyny. They're self-respect. Your disinterest isn't dysfunction. It's discernment. I want to hear from you. Have you noticed panic when you don't respond to female manipulation? Have you experienced confusion when you stay indifferent? What happens when you simply don't take them seriously? Drop your experiences in the comments. Let's document this shift in real time because we're witnessing a fundamental restructuring of gender dynamics. And the panic is only the beginning.